Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Luke. If you're new here, tonight I'm going to be talking about Abigail. Just left the theaters from seeing this. This is a new film from the Radio Silence Productions and one that I've been looking forward to seeing, especially since seeing the trailer earlier this year. And man, there's a lot to go into here. And that kind of sets up where this is going to go. So let's get into Abigail. So this movie basically follows a group of criminals that are assigned to kidnap this 12-year-old ballerina dancer and basically hold her hostage for 24 hours in an isolated mansion. They're not supposed to give any information away. They're just supposed to keep her there for so long, and the goal is that they will get a ton of money. And one of the key aspects is the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you pretty much know what the gist of the story is. And this movie, unfortunately for me, kind of fell victim to a couple of different traps. One being the trailer. Like, I've seen the trailer for this movie so much, and the trailer is a ton of fun, which does add excitement to seeing this. But after watching it, it's one of these cases where like the trailer probably gave a little bit too much away. As I was watching this, I was thinking like, man, if I just did not see the trailer and came into this blind, I could probably have a much different experience. This is a nearly 2-hour movie, and it takes quite a while before this really picks up pace. A lot of it is just this kind of setup of what we already know. They know that they're going to kidnap this girl. We're just going right into that, then getting her to the location. Then a lot of it's just like understanding the location, understanding this crew of criminals and their backstories and kind of what they're after, and they're trying to do certain things, and it's just a lot of back and forth cat and mouse. And while this group of criminals is entertaining, it's nothing really new. It's a bunch of different characters that all have a certain skill set, and we've seen it time and time again in various other movies, and that's fine. It's like they can put their own spin on it, and one in particular to kind of call out is this does have Angus Cloud, who is most known from the HBO series Euphoria. This was, I believe, his final role before he passed away, and there's a nod to that. At least to him at the end of the movie, which is very sweet. And it was very unfortunate because like Angus Cloud, like I'm a big fan, like especially after like season 2 of Euphoria, I got really hooked into his acting ability and wanted to see a lot more from him. So, he brought a lot of that same energy into this character, and I wish we could have gotten a lot more time with him in this movie, but what you do get is pretty fun. In terms of the rest of the cast, Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens are two of the big standouts. Dan Stevens especially because I went and watched Godzilla X Kong, and I think every trailer before that movie he was an actor in, so he's got a lot of work coming out this year, so I was definitely excited to see. And his character is definitely one a lot of people will resonate with. It's been done before, but I think his comedic approach to this and his chops were pretty entertaining, and you get a lot of time with Dan Stevens and Melissa Barrera. Melissa Barrera, of course, is becoming like this new horror scream queen, like her role in the Scream franchise, and now this. Very excited to see what happens with her moving forward. And then you also have Alicia Ware as Abigail, who is most known probably for this new Matilda the musical that I believe is on Netflix, one that I have not seen, but I did think she brought a lot of energy to being a young vampire, and it was fun to see. Catherine Newton, someone that's been up and coming, seeing a lot of new things. Kevin Durand, Giancarlo Esposito, was a character in this. Such a huge fan from the Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul series. Definitely wish we could have gotten so much more time with this character. And that's the other thing. It's like there are some interesting nuggets throughout this that I wish they would have gone more into story-wise, because that was the biggest drawback for me, is like the story of what we get through this movie. I just did not find very interesting. There are little nuggets here and there where I wish we could have gone more into that piece of the story. But man, it's just such a letdown. Now, when it comes to like the horror aspects, yes, there is plenty of blood in this movie for a vampire movie. I think that aspect of it, for my taste, is what was overhyped. This movie premiered at a horror film festival in New Orleans about a month ago. All of the initial like tweets and one-liners that I got kind of pushed it in one direction, and that's what I was expecting going into this. And in a sense, we do get what everyone's saying, but I just didn't think it was to the level I was expecting. I was expecting a whole lot more than what we get. Granted, like when we get a lot of these more horror vampire moments, they kind of go all out within that moment. And this is one where it's such a slow build up. You get so much going on in the third act. So much is crammed together. A lot of interesting decisions being made. And there are a couple of moments throughout that I was thinking about after the movie where it's like, wait, wouldn't this actually happen? And why wouldn't we follow up on that? And I don't know. For me, it was a bit of a mess. I could see this leaning more towards younger crowds again, kind of it's kind of like an intro into this new vampire genre. But for me, I would stick with some of the classics like Lost Boys, From Dusk Till Dawn. Those are always going to be my standout vampire movies. I was hoping this could kind of make that list, but for me, just didn't really work. It's one I'm torn if I'd even want to watch this again, because it's kind of a little bit bored through most of the runtime. And while there is tension in this movie, it wasn't enough to just really excite me to want to get me like glued and see this become more than what it is. So for that being said, I'm going to give Abigail a 5 out of 10, kind of going right down the middle. I think there was a lot of good things within this, but the bads is what brought me down. And it's one where I can see people enjoying it. I've seen a lot of reactions to this movie where people are enjoying it, and that's great. I just wanted a lot more. I think in looking at the Radio Silence productions, most of their work are the VHS movies, but one in particular was Ready or Not, and I went into that as a blind watch. I didn't see that in theater, but I did watch it at home, and that was a really fun watch. Definitely stand out. They, of course, worked on Scream and Scream 6, which, you know, I have things that I like and don't like about both of those. But yeah, Abigail, wanted a lot more. I was hoping for a lot more. A little bit of a letdown, unfortunately. So if you saw Abigail, let me know, what did you think of this in the comments? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you going to put this into a regular rotation if you do a lot like 31 Nights of Halloween? It's something I try to do every year. Just don't know if this would make the cut for me. But would love to know what you think of this one. Even Radio Silence Productions, do you have a favorite movie from everything that they've worked on? Because it's a lot more than I was expecting. I didn't realize they worked on the VHS movies, which I've started watching not too long ago. But yeah, would love to know if there's any one particular movie you really like. Let me know in the comments and I'll check it out. Ready or Not would probably, from what I've seen, would probably be my favorite, one that I want to revisit again. But yeah, let me know in the comments. So thanks again for coming by the channel. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps this channel out so much. And I will try my best to be back very soon with more reviews. Have a great evening.